Everybody, yeah, yeah. Everybody, yeah. I don't know. I can't remember. I don't know that. I think it's a pop song. I don't know who that's by. But what's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Analytical Eye Show. It's your boy Javier. I hope y'all are having a good day out there. Let's get into some conversation. Cheers. Again, water again. Nothing too simple. Nothing too extravagant. Nothing too plain. It is what it is. Still rocking my fila. Um, it's pretty cold, so you know. Let's talk about deportation. Um, sure y'all been seeing the news. Um, Trump's been on his bullshit. But I wouldn't really call this deportation bullshit. Let me first off giving a couple of disclaimers about deportation. I'm for deportation. Obama did it. The difference between that's number one. Number two, I feel like we're in a pot called the kettle black moment, or a what's good for the goose is not good for the gander type of moment. I guess not pot called the kettle black, or maybe so, but really it's the what's good for the goose isn't good for the gander. For all those people out there, this is the second disclaimer. Obama was known. They even gave him a nickname. Let me look up this nickname. I should have already had this pulled up. They called him the deporter in chief because he deported so many people that were illegally here in America. I think the reason why that people have a problem with Trump's deportation rather than Obama's was because because Trump's is stemming from racism. He's using the fear that people have and the stem roots of racism to justify his deporting instead of just saying, hey, these are just illegal immigrants that are here. They shouldn't be here. They shouldn't be in America illegally. And especially if you're committing a crime, you should not be here. Or have committed a crime, you should not be here. Especially when you have a violent offense like rape or robbery or murder. You should not be here. So that's number two. Number three, this country was not, the saying goes, well, why are we deporting immigrants? This country was founded by immigrants. This country was built on the backs of immigrants. That is wrong. Let me explain why that is completely wrong. The country was built off the backs of slavery. Let me tell you the difference between, and I don't need a definition. I don't need to pull up Webster Dictionary. I don't need to pull up, let me grab this rag. Hold on. Sorry, y'all, because I already know my lips is dry and I'm probably already feeling the thing. The country was not built on the country was not just built on just the backs of slavery. Backs of immigrants. Africans were not immigrants. They were slaves. Let me explain the difference between immigrants, whether it's illegal or legal, versus slavery. And what happened with my ancestors. Okay? And this is to all of those Hispanics out there. These are to all of those left Democrats or to the left that want to say, you guys are wrong because Mexicans are in the farms and all that stuff like that, and they're the backbone of America, and which is partially true. Let me say this. Slavery, the difference between immigrants and slavery is no matter if the person is seeking asylum or refugee, yes, an immigrant, in the case of refugee or asylum, where they are forced to leave their home, they willingly came to this country, willingly, illegally. See what I'm saying? So even though they were forced out of, or they felt the need in fear of their life or their family or both to come from their country to leave or escape their country and come here illegally. That's immigration. They migrated. They made the choice. But when you have slavery, my people, even if they were sold by their own kind, they were stolen from their tribes, from their land, in countries in Africa, wherever that may be, and they were taken across a body of water, not by choice, and then made and forced to work on a land that they do nothing about. They were stripped from their culture. They were stripped from their lives, their traditions, their languages, their families, and forced to work on this land and build it up. That is the difference between slavery and immigrants. And they're not the two. Because last time I checked, whether they're legal or illegal immigrants that work in the farms or work doing grunt work, whether that's janitorial work or construction or babysitting or cab driving or a regular 9 to 5, whatever it is, they're not being raped. They're not being beaten. They're not being tortured. They're not being lynched. They're not being burned. They're not being stolen and sold away to their families like slaves are. That is the difference between slavery and immigration. So, for me, yes, this country is currently, as a whole, has this country been built off the back of immigrants? Yes. But not initially. This country is built off the backs of slaves, which then continued on with immigrants. Put that out there. So that's the third disclaimer. Now that we've gotten my point of views out the way, let me tell you the reason why I am for this deportation. And let me explain to you my specifications. Because I see a lot in the news, they keep saying migrants, immigrants, da-da-da. There is legal immigrants and illegal immigrants. Illegal immigrants are motherfuckers that don't have a social security, they don't have a visa, whether it's education, work, or whatever it is, to be here in America for an extended period of time. That is an illegal immigrant. There's no way around it. There's not they're undocumented. They're here illegally because there are laws put in place, and not just even in this country, but every other country around the world that states there's a certain amount of time that you have to be in here, whether it's for travel, whether it's for work, whether it's for vacation, whatever it is. By that, once that's gone, you got to go. Anything past that means you're here illegally. You're not supposed to be here. There's a difference. Now, here's my thing. If you are here illegally and you have a violent crime, especially a felony, you got to go. If you have a misdemeanor, you got to go. Well, then, Javier, what about the children? You're separating their children. Now, I know that there's American policies and stuff like that where now the children have to be taken into CPS, which then separates them from their families. And I was thinking about this today before I got on because I'm trying to well, Javier, can you show the humanity in separating families? Because there's no humanity in that, but it's going to happen. Here's how I looked at it. Because Trump's obviously trying to get rid of the this birthright citizenship, which I find rambunctious. I was thinking like this. If somebody commits a felony here on American soil, right, whatever that may be, or continuously to commit crimes, and they're found out to be adjacent with gang affiliation, but also back home, if they pull up there, I don't know how they'll be able to do that, they're Interpol or whatever it is, they figure out that this person from their homeland, whether that's Mexico, whether that's from any country in South America, Asia, wherever the fucking, if any country outside of the United States, wherever the fuck they're from, of the other 6 continents, or, well, you can technically say 7, because you have Mexico is part of North America, and then you also have Canada part of North America. So any country outside of the United States where they're found to have a previous criminal convictions or they have a record, if they come over here because they want their child to have a better life, and we know that once I give birth on American soil, that's an American citizen at that point. I was like, there may be some argument there, because it's not right that you commit all this hell in your homeland and you come over here and you're committing hell too, and then you get impregnated and then you want your child to have rights of being an American, so let's go ahead and give that child, birth that child here. But at the same time, I looked at it as, well, okay, I understand that, but at the same time, Javier, no, it's only fair that if a motherfucker gives birth on this soil and they have a child here on American soil, that child has the right now as an American, because they're American now. The same thing happened with you. The only difference with me, though, is that my family's been here for a long ass time, back to slavery, on my mom's side. Because yes, I am mixed with French on my mom's dad's side, and then I'm mixed with Guyanese on my sperm donor side, because they're technically either first or second generation here in America, or I technically would be second or third generation. I think I'm actually second generation to them, or well, no, because they had their kids here, which is sperm donor than me. So it would either be second generation here or third generation here, or whatever like that. So I get the parameters, but that's why it ain't up to me to make those decisions. But it shouldn't be made from a spew of racism or stereotyping or prejudicial views that Trump has. And I think that's the only reason why people have a problem. Not even think, I know why people have a problem with it. Because Obama was our deporter in chief. I didn't even know this until I started doing research. I'm like, this motherfucker deported more people than he was. The only reason why is that people probably talking about it is because Obama just did it. Trump is announcing it, but he's doing it through racial views, presidential views that are wrong and out there. And that's the reason why you got Colombia now and Mexico and all these other countries. Now, we're not going to allow, and that's another thing. Mexico, Colombia, all your other countries out there. If these are your citizens and it's verified that they came from your country, you have to accept them. Why? And if the thing we got to think about as Americans, if these countries are not accepting back their citizens, what does that say about the citizens that have been deported? Especially if they have violent crimes. Why are you guys not accepting them? There's something there. What, you don't want your own criminals back? Put their ass in jail where they need to be then. And then I looked up, what if a country denies to take back their own citizen, then they're stuck like in limbo on the tarmac, and they're stuck in like legalities and shit like that. And it's like, I wanted to, I was having this thing like, well, fly their ass over and give them a parachute and drop their ass up in the sky and let them do what they do. Or be like, I saw this video it was like a stock footage on a news clipping, and they had at the southern border, they had a little door, like one of the, where the wall is, they had, I guess part of it was open, like they had opened it up. And I'm just like, why don't you just take them by their back and just throw them across the, like, get your, one at a time. Just something that popped up in my head. Just have a dark sense of humor. My reasons for deporting are only based off of the fact that if you are not here legally, you have no basis to be here. That's it. I have no racial views. I'm not here to say that all Mexicans are dangerous. I'm not here to say all Mexicans are part of the cartel or people from Colombia or anything like that. My views are not spewed by racist fear. I have no fear against anyone. The only entity I fear, and the person I fear, is Jesus the Christ and God. That's all. So and remember, I've told y'all before, I'm not an independent, I'm not a Republican, I'm not a Democrat. I'm on my party time, okay? I sway wherever I feel is needed swaying. And I voted for Kamala Harris. But we do need stricter immigration laws. I was seeing through comments a lot of people saying, why are we the dumping ground for everybody's citizens? Or why do everybody got to come here? And I get it. A lot of people want the land of opportunity. They want that American dream, which I don't really think that thing exists. It never has, if you ask me. But I get that people want to have freedom in what they choose and how they live their life. And there's people seeking asylum. There's people that are seeking, my apologies. I looked down and I saw my computer doing that. There's people out there that are seeking a better life for them and their kids and things like that, but there's still obstacles and hoops and hurdles you have to jump through. And the reason why I say I don't know if y'all have seen this show. It's called Contraband. It Seized at the Border. It's on I think the Discovery Channel, but you can watch it on Max. They finally came out with what's the spinoff? Came out with a spinoff. It's called Contraband Seized at Sea. But if you watch the Seized at the Border, let me tell you guys the process of how seeking asylum works when you are at least at the southern border. I think it's everywhere, but really at the border. When you come to Mexico, you say, hey, I'm seeking asylum at America. America and Mexico came with an agreement that they would house these asylum seekers, refugee seekers in Mexico detention centers or whatever like that. And they fill out the application, they wait their turn. It usually takes about 30 days, and then they bring a group of people across the border. Because once at that point, they start the application process. They give them, they start the whole nine, and then they wait until they get a hearing with an immigration judge. Some people they illegally cross over because once they know they're on American soil, we can't just send them back. We can't kick them out by American laws. We have to now take them in, get their fingerprinted, process them, get their case started so that they can go on to hear a judge. But then 2 years down the line, then they finally get a rejection. Up to 2 years, I think it can take, where then the immigration judge can deny them and then they're sent back to their homeland. So it's like, why are we not? It's so Stephen A. Smith gave a perfect analogy, which I was also saying the same thing. It's almost like being at Universal or going to Disney or an amusement park. If somebody cuts the line, you don't let that motherfucker go before you. You kick their ass to the back of the line. America needs to do the same thing. It's really cut and dry, black and white. Why are you allowing somebody to cross over the border and they know that then once they step on American soil, you have to take them in, because then it pushes back when those next group of people can come over that have already been waiting in line to come over here and hear their case and get their process started to become an asylum seeker or to become an American citizen or whatever the case is. You're pushing that back, and then people wondering, why does it take so long to get processed? Why does it take so long to become an American citizen? Why does it take so long for that whole process? Because shit like that happens. It's only fair. If they cross over, send their ass back. Why the fuck are they coming over here? And they know that once that happens, they can jump cut the line. And it's all you're going to do is waste taxpayers' time and waste time and money down the drain just for them to most likely get denied. Maybe because of the issue that they jumped the border, how they did, or because they got a criminal criminal past, or the specifications of why they may be seeking asylum or refugee or wanting to become a citizen are unfounded or not good enough that the judge feels like, oh no, denied, so then they go back. See what I'm saying? It's so many different avenues on getting approved or denied citizenship or refugee or visas, whatever it is that they're seeking. But to jump cut people that are waiting, that's not fair. That's not fair. And it ruins their chances as well of getting approved. See what I'm saying? So there's so many ways to look at this, but my reasons for deportation has never been about race. It's all about violent criminals. You gotta go. You are not welcome here. Okay? You are not welcome here. And that accent, it came from not trying to copy y'all. It was from number one lady detective agency when she was talking to her abusive ex-husband, and she was telling him he's not welcome in her household. So don't be sitting up here talking about obvious racism. Oh, he's trying to copy the accent of Mexicans and stuff like that, because that wasn't even nowhere near Mexican. That was supposed to be a Botswana accent or something like that. So just, put that out there. But it is only fair. And talking with my other friends like Prakash, he's a first generation here in America. His parents came from Guyana as well. He's first generation here. It's only fair. They went through the proper channels. Everybody's got to go through the proper channels. If you get denied citizenship, oh well, move on. It's not the end of the world. There's other countries out there that may be able to take you on, but you got to go through the proper channels here. You can't, especially, and my thing is this. You gonna come over here legally? Okay, fly under the radar. Don't come over here and start committing crimes because you can and disrupting my communities, my neighborhoods, my fellow American citizens, my fellow brothers and sisters, because you don't want to work, don't have nothing going for your life, don't have nothing about your life, or you don't aspire to be better. You need to be a contributing member of society. Not sit up here and dismantling society because it's there for you to do, or because you can, or you're willing to. That's all I gotta say. So am I for deporting? Yes, I am. And I ain't gonna lie, I think on this show I've kind of teeter-tottered maybe with that ever before, but never came to an actual clear basis on what it is. But I have to speak on what I feel and what I think is right. I looked at it from my perspective. If I murdered some people here in America and then I went off to Mexico because or if I went off to Russia and I was out there, that's illegal immigration because I'm not a citizen out there. What I was on The reason why I use Russia is because Russia's not non-extradition, so I can go out there and they don't have to extradite me back because they're if I'm not mistaken, they're either part of NATO or not a part of NATO in some form of aspects. But there's countries in the world that have no non-extradition treaties with America, which means they don't have to send you back to America to face trial or whatever like that. I was just using Russia as an example. I think Mexico actually is another extradition country. I think that is not part of America's extradition treaty. Maybe, maybe not. Could be wrong, but I'm not a diplomat. I'm not a diplomacy officer or one of those people. I don't focus on immigration and all that other stupid shit on who can be sent back to a country to face trial somewhere else or whatever like that. But anyways, all I'm saying is that if I went to another country and I overstayed my welcome, even if I was on a travel visa, work visa, education visa, whatever type of visa I was, or nothing at all, or vacation visa there, or whatever it was that I am, which I think is the same thing as travel visa, maybe, I don't know. But I'm just saying all that to cover my bases. If I'm there past the time that I'm allotted to be there, or the government doesn't know I'm there, or I didn't go through the proper custom and borders patrol and all this stuff like that, then that means I'm there illegally, which means they have a right to put me in jail and then kick me out and deport me and then ban me from ever entering their country again. Rightfully so. For the safety and national security of their citizens and their government and everything that has to do with them. You have to be vetted. It is what the fuck it is. Take it or leave it at the door. Every president in the United States has deported people, including Obama. The only difference between Obama, I'm only using Obama and Trump, is because Obama did it without all the added shit. Trump's doing it with clear intention of being racist, being misogynist, a stereotypical presidential. It is what it is. But you guys can sit up here and hate him for it, or hate him for deporting people. You can hate him for the reasons he's doing it and trying to stereotype and marginalize and redline or whatever you want to call it on a group of people such as Mexicans, Hispanics, or whatever like that. Because he can't deport black folks. He can't. We here to stay. Now you can do Haitians and shit like that and all these other motherfuckers off these Caribbean islands and stuff. You can do that. But you can't do black people because, we've been here for 400 plus years. We here to stay. So we earned our keep. Our ancestors earned our keep for us. Sadly and unfortunately. But that's the only reason why I feel like, personally for me, that's the real reason why y'all hate Trump. They say, oh, he's being racist, he's deporting immigrants and this, that. No, he's deporting illegal immigrants. There's a difference. He's supporting migrants that are here illegally, that have come across this border illegally, come across the four walls of this country illegally, which he has the right to do, which every president has the right to do, which is by law the right to do for American citizens and our safety and for the laws and the things that are in place here in America. It is what it is. Obama did it, Bush did it, Clinton did it, I'm sure, all the way back to probably when they started doing deportations. Okay? It is what it is. Take it or leave it at the door. There's not going to change it because it's the right thing to do. The only reason why it's so heightened is because Trump's doing it with racism and all this stuff in it, which is wrong. He should just be like, no, you're going to get deported because you're just going to get deported. Now, do I believe that you should be separating families or believe you should be going into work and school and deporting? No. But if I end up going into a place where I find a whole bunch of people that are illegal immigrants that were on our list to get out, such as ICE going in and doing that, and then we find another illegal immigrant, then you gotta go too, boo. You gotta go. You can't be here. You can't be here. What do you want us to do about it? You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But that's one thing we need to specify between being a legal immigrant here and an illegal immigrant here. It is what it is. There's no way around it. And I try to find my way of trying to, find common ground. Now I said, but another part of me is also this: if they are an illegal immigrant here, but they've been a conducting member of society the whole time, at this point, give them citizenship. Just let them stay. There's no point in wasting time, wasting money, this, that, and the third. Make sure you vet them. Make sure you question them down to the root to the tooth. Make sure their affiliation is no gangs, cartel, MI6, any terrorist organizations of Islamic, Russian, UK, Mexico, whatever it is that can harm our land or harm our country. And if they pass those measures, fingerprint them, take their picture, give them a social security card, give them a passport, naturalization certificate, and get them on their merry way. That's how I look at it. That's how I look at it. But everybody got to go through the proper channels. But if you get caught with your pants down, you can't get mad because you get arrested because your pants is down in indecent exposure in public. You can't get mad at that. You cannot get mad at that to anybody that's here that is afraid of deportation. You can't. You really can't get mad at it. I can't either. I'm disgusted by Trump doing it in the name of racism, but I am not disgusted by him doing it for the safety of American people. But we both know his true agendas behind that is not the safety of American people. He's doing it for racist white folks. And that's the agenda, that's the true meaning and the agenda behind it. If it was for purpose of truly keeping us safe, then there's some leeway there. But we know his motives and shit like that. That's all I'm gonna say. But God bless everybody. I hope this world, we can all become a safer place. I mean, at the end of the day, we should all give everybody a chance. I would love that to be the case, but this is the world we live in, and this is the world we preside in, and this is the world that we have to acknowledge. We gotta protect our own before we can protect anybody else. I'm sorry, I'm gonna look out for my household before I look out for you. That's just how it's gonna be. I'm gonna make sure my bills are paid before I help you with your bills, because I'm not trying to be where you is. I'm sorry, it's just, I know that may sound selfish, but it is what the fuck it is. This is the world we live in. This is the world we live in. If I don't pay my rent, I'm gonna be out on the street, but I help you pay your rent. You ain't gonna be on the street. What? I take my hard-earned money and help you when I'm supposed to help me first? That's not how this works. So I'm sorry. I'm gonna do for me before I do for you. It sounds selfish, but then in an event that I can do for the both of us, I will then gladly do it. Not just financially, but emotionally, spiritually, being there for you in any way I can. But we all got to do better and realize that we got to keep America safe before we can just start helping. And the thing about it is this, and I think it goes a little bit deeper than just immigrants. A lot of people are angry because America is the #1 leader in helping all other foreign aid. Like, even when we signed that, what was that, $99 billion military aid package to Israel or whatever that shit was last year that Biden did. It's so easy for us to help other countries. And all these other countries that are part of NATO and stuff that are supposed to give military aid packages as well. America's always the #1 to give so much money. Why is that? And that's where a lot of people would also get frustrated from as well. It's like, why are we giving the most money when all these other countries are supposed to help out as well, and they promise to help out, but America's giving the #1 military aid packages and supplies and food and all this stuff like that? And why is it so easy for the president to sign a executive order or a military aid bill, even with the help of Congress? So easy to get that in to send off, but we can't sign something up to help out with our homeless, help out with our military, help out with people on drugs, help out our education system, help out with our recidivism rate, help out with crime. Why can't we sign these stimulus bills for our own kind? Why did we not get more stimulus aid package for COVID and all the other shit? Because America sucked. We had the #1 death tolls, #1 cases, and America sucked ass during COVID. We should have done better. We should have been the leader in that, but we didn't. And a lot of people keep saying, "Oh, America used to be #1 in a whole bunch of shit," but we not. We ain't never been #1 in shit. Wanna know why? Because we started out in shit. How you start is how you end. We started in slavery, so look what you thought was gonna get any better? No, America's just reaping what we've been sowing into society for so long. It's just kicking us in the ass this hard. So, just saying. There was a last thing I'm gonna leave you with is there was a episode. Hold on, one moment. Sorry. This guy, there's a show on HBO called Newsroom, and the first thing he says, he starts spitting off all this knowledge and stuff about how America has never been first in everything, how America's actually not the greatest country in the world, and he goes through the list of what we're like fifth in this, we're fifth in literacy, we're 27th in this, we're 30 in this, we're 30 placed in this, we're not number one in any form of education, jobs, technology, military, although we spend so much money on it and all this other stuff. We was just basically, he was spitting off knowledge for like 5 minutes in the intro. If you don't know, if you're not seen it, he's let me pull it up. Newsroom. It's called The Newsroom on HBO, and it stars Jeff Daniels. And I'm telling you, that first episode right there was a kicker in the ass for me, because he really talked about how we like. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and play it for y'all. Let me see if I can find it. Hopefully I can. Hold on. He talked about how he said America's not the greatest country in the world. I'm gonna skip past this part, but hold on. Let me see if I can get this in there. Okay, I'm just gonna play it for y'all. And I just want y'all to listen.
Let's move on to the next question. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Jenny. I'm a sophomore, and this is for all three of you. Can you say in one sentence or less what? You know what I mean. Can you say why America is the greatest country in the world?
Diversity and opportunity.
Lewis?
Freedom and freedom. So let's keep it that way.
Well,
we're gonna have to quantify what freedom really means. But listen in.
The New York Jets.
no. I'm going to hold you to an answer on that. What makes America the greatest country in the world?
Well, Lewis and Sharon said it. Diversity and opportunity and freedom and freedom.
I'm not letting you go back to the airport without answering the question.
It's not the greatest country in the world.
Well, our Constitution is a masterpiece. James Madison was a genius. The Declaration of Independence is, for me, the single greatest piece of American writing. You don't look satisfied.
One's a set of laws and the other's a declaration of war. I want a human moment from you. What about the people? Why is
It's not the greatest country in the world, Professor. That's my answer.
You're saying
Yes. Let's talk about Sharon. The NEA is a loser. Yeah, it accounts for a penny out of her paycheck, but he gets to hit you with it anytime he wants. It doesn't cost money. It costs votes. It costs airtime and column inches. You know why people don't like liberals? Because they lose. If liberals are so fucking smart, how come they lose so goddamn always? Hey, and with a straight face, you're going
Kamala
to
Harris.
tell students that America is so star-spangled awesome that we're the only ones in the world who have freedom? Canada has freedom. Japan has freedom. The UK, France, Italy, Germany, Spain, Australia, Belgium has freedom. So 207 sovereign states in the world, like 180 of them have freedom. All right. And yeah, you, sorority girl, just in case you accidentally wander into a voting booth one day, there's some things you should know. One of them is there's absolutely no evidence to support the statement that we're the greatest country in the world. We're 7th in literacy, 27th in math, 22nd in science, 49th in life expectancy, 178th in infant mortality, 3rd in median household income, number 4 in labor force, and number 4 in exports. We lead the world in only 3 categories: number of incarcerated citizens per capita, number of adults who believe angels are real, and defense spending, where we spend more than the next 26 countries combined, 25 of whom are allies. Now, none of this is the fault of a 20-year-old college student, but you nonetheless are, without a doubt, a member of the worst generation ever. So when you ask what makes us the greatest country in the world, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Yosemite? used to be. We stood up for what was right. We fought for moral reasons. We passed laws, struck down laws for moral reasons. We waged wars on poverty, not poor people. We sacrificed. We cared about our neighbors. We put our money where our mouths were, and we never beat our chest. We built great big things, made ungodly technological advances, explored the universe, cured diseases, and we cultivated the world's greatest artists and the world's greatest economy. We reached for the stars, acted like men. We aspired to intelligence. We didn't belittle it. It didn't make us feel inferior. We didn't identify ourselves by who we voted for in the last election, and we didn't scare so easy. We were able to be all these things and do all these things because we were informed by great men, men who were revered. First step in solving any problem is recognizing there is one. America is not the greatest country in the world anymore.
And Trump is not going to get us there. Hell, he's not Jesus and he ain't God. So let me put that out there. But that is all I got to say. In some form of fashions, we kind of used to be the greatest. But we not. And everything he just mentioned is true. And I'm not saying that deportation is going to solve that. It's not going to solve America's problems. But it's one of the many things that is wrong with this country. We got to get back to us. We got to get back to us. And within deportation, or within immigration itself, having morals and values. Deporting illegals that are criminals and have gang affiliation and cartel affiliation and crime affiliation that is abroad in their homeland. But for the motherfuckers that are here currently illegally, just give them citizenship, give their kids citizenship, and move the fuck on. If you want to put them in jail or put them on probation and watch them for some time, hell, you already do that now with every camera transmitter and our dollars, hawk and watch and scope and jock and scrutinizing all of us and shit like that. So you might as well just do that with them. Put them on 5 years probation. Tell them, you can't be affiliated here nor there. You got to keep employment, whatever the things you got to do, and give them citizenship. And stop wasting the money and time on foolishness. But all the other motherfuckers that are harmful to our cities got to go. Bye, Felicia. That's just how I look at it. But anyways, that's just my stance on some shit. I love y'all. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Analytical Eye Show. If I struck a nerve, guess what? A hit dog will holler. It is what the fuck it is. I make no apologies for it. I'm not a racist. I'm a realist. I'm also an idealist. But I also can recognize where all sides on all different levels see things. And I guess what? I agree with you all. Except for when it comes to the motivation behind it is racism and stereotyping and marginalizing and generalizing an ethnic group or a race or a gender or whatever the fuck it is. See what I'm saying? So let's move on to our fun fact for the day. Let's see. I usually have these all set up and stuff like that. I apologize, y'all, but I've just been so out of it that I have not been fully, into stuff. So, but okay. So today we're going to focus on and talk about Miss Anna J. Cooper. She was an author and an educator. She was born August 10th, 1858 in Raleigh, North Carolina, and died February 27th, 1964 in Washington, D.C. Like I said, she was an American author, educator. She was also a sociologist, a speaker, a black libertarian activist, a black feminist leader, and one of the most prominent African American scholars in the United States history. Um, and she got her education at Oberlin College with her BA and MA. She also attended University of Paris and got a PhD. So forgive me, this should be not just Miss and Anna J. Cooper, but Dr. Anna J. Cooper. And she got a degree in mathematics in 1887, which was her master's degree. She got her bachelor's of arts in 1884. And at the age of 66, wow, could you imagine that? At 66, see, it's never too late to get your degrees. And it's, well, that's one thing I always wanted to say. It makes me so happy when I've seen these women that are like in their 90s. They're getting their bachelor's degrees. I just read on the news the other day, like maybe a week or two back, a couple of elder women that they finally got their degrees, and that was the highlight of their life. They had their families, they had their kids, their husbands, they built their life, but they still had that dream and aspiration of having a degree, and they finally got it. So kudos to you. So it's never too late to get your degree. Cooper made contributions to her social science fields, particularly in sociology. Her first book, A Voice from the South by a Black Woman of the South, is widely acknowledged as one of the first articulations of Black feminism, giving Cooper the often used title of the mother of Black feminism. So I just want to thank you so much for all of the work, the contribution that you have given to us, not just Miss, but Dr. Anna J. Cooper. And thank you for uplifting our Black women and being there and sacrificing yourself and being a public service to the Black community and the Black excellence in the Black race. She did die of a heart attack, but she died at 105 years old. So she lived a full life. That woman lived a full life. Dang. And her education included Columbia University in 1924 and also St. Augustine's University. So she lived a long, healthy, big, full life. And obviously she had kids. She adopted 2 foster children and 5 adopted children. And, just amazing. Just amazing. And she proposed the necessity for a racial uplift, affording Black women the opportunity to get education. That was her motto. That was her motives. That was her legacy that she wanted to leave, and what she led. And I just want to thank you through all the 105 years that you lived on this earth, all the way up till you had your heart attack, where you just gave yourself to the Black race. Thank y'all so much for watching this episode of The Analytical Eye Show. Make sure we continue to talk about things that meet the eye daily. And I will see y'all in another episode. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Avir Vassal. Oh, and TikTok at Avir Vassal. You can follow the show on Facebook and Instagram at The Analytical Eye Show, and on Twitter at iAnalytical. I will see y'all next time. Take out the time to talk about things that meet the eye daily, and let's have a true, honest discussion. All in love with no disrespect and no hate or racism involved. Cheers. I'll see y'all next time. The Analytical Eye Show is presented by Analytical Eye Productions, a AAVR company.